horrible Lisa's vocals were during her Coachella
I will say
performance.
though, I am a little bit doubtful that she sang everything live, and when she did sing live, it wasn't always great.
I was really confused after I watched the Jennie performance on Coachella because the Jennie fans were like, "Oh my gosh, she slayed me," and I was looking at those comments confused because I was like, "She looked tired the whole performance." I
Jennie's
so personally
Coachella performance was a tired mess. At this point, her laziness isn't just accusations; it's her brand. Jennie contributed nothing.
And if I say Enhyphen has the best K-pop performance in Coachella history,
bitch, I know you're fucking lying. Enhyphen just left the stage early.
Coachella 2025 and K-pop in the desert. Yeah, the internet hasn't shut up about it, so I had to make a video recapping every meltdown multiple fandoms are having. After watching the K-pop performances from Enhyphen, Lisa, Jennie, and XG included, let's just say it's been nonstop fan wars and chaos all around. So here's the good, the bad, and everything in between. First, I gotta start off with Lisa, and let's begin with the good. A plus for the production, girl. That intro with Thunder. The platform she was standing on looked terrifying, but she killed it. Lisa delivered exactly where she always shines: performance and stage presence. We even got some Coachella exclusive moments, and the start of her set was strong. She hyped the crowd up so well. The outfits were obviously part of her whole Lisa and her alter ego vibe she's got going on these days. I'm not sure I'm personally a huge fan of them, but they weren't bad, so we're moving on. Now let's address the elephant in the room: Lisa's singing and vocals. I've seen tons, and I mean tons, of comments and videos complaining about the same thing. And with how polished her set was, it kind of highlighted the areas where she was lacking a bit too much. Yeah, there were definitely vocal issues. Like when Lisa performed Rockstar and Fuck Up the World, the flow wasn't consistent. She sang the easier parts and left the harder stuff to the backtrack, and that distinction was very obvious. For me, that's kind of where the performance fell off a bit. But honestly, I'm not against idols using backtracks, especially when they're pulling off intense choreo like Lisa was. Lip syncing is there, no denying that. I just wish that as a rapper, she would have rapped her verses live, even if that meant toning down the choreo during those parts. Someone on Reddit pointed out how Tate McRae balances choreo and vocals really well. She dances, but lets her voice shine by not doing heavy moves while singing. I'd love to see Lisa try that kind of balance too, because I think it would really work for her. And look, this wasn't a bad stage at all. The crowd was eating it up. Of course, there are the viral moments, like this one. Someone online called it infuriating. I didn't expect something even more intense on stage. The arm-in-arm pose with the guy and her facial expression made it even more infuriating. But people were quick to defend her, saying, "She's performing overseas, calm down," and acting like they want Lisa to time travel from the Joseon dynasty or something. It was pretty bold, but honestly, it's something Lisa can pull off. Then we've got Lisa's phone lock screen showing Frederick Arnault. I haven't said this before on my channel, but Lily's hold my hand. At this point, it's unofficially official. They're dating. So yeah, I'm happy for her. And all the hate about Frederick's appearance? Not it. I don't know if calling him a rat is some kind of inside fandom joke or what, but guys, it's not cool.
and if I say Enhyphen has the best K-pop performance in Coachella history,
Enhypen's set at the festival was hands down one of the most impressive. Like, they performed like their rent was due tomorrow. They showed up to deliver, and they did. I'm genuinely so glad to see them getting all the praise they deserve. They burned the house down. But what the hell was Hybe doing? Seriously. From the stage setup to the outfits, it was giving mid, I'm sorry. Like, why? This is Coachella. Influencers were putting more effort into their outfits than Enhypen's stylists did. The production should have been way better. And don't even get me started on the fan war over on X. All that drama about Enhypen having an empty crowd and leaving the stage early? So unnecessary. I think it all started with their online view count. Then suddenly everyone was obsessed. Apparently, Enhypen had the second most watched live show in Coachella history. That's huge. But Blinks were ready to fight, immediately claiming Blackpink's 2023 performance was the peak, with 2.96 million views. Now, personally, I didn't dive deep into the numbers. I don't memorize the stats for my faves, but I do know that some parts of the K-pop community are way too obsessed with numbers. Like, chill. So yeah, fan war happened. People started hating on each other, sharing clips from Enhypen's set and calling it an empty crowd, which is just false. Sure, the crowd wasn't as massive as some other K-pop acts, but calling it empty is a stretch and disrespectful. Thankfully, a lot of fans called that out. And let's be real, they were up against artists like Green Day and Clairo. That's some tough competition, so let's not act brand new. Plus, the reason they left early is because they started early. Simple. Can we also just enjoy the good moments? Like, Lisa was spotted enjoying Enhypen's set, and fans took that in a really positive light, which low-key helped end the fan war. And if that's the case, love that for us. Enhyphen also had several moments go viral, especially for their vocals. There's this one video of a guy who goes to singers and sing.
Somebody's watching me.
Kind of funny. He could sing an Enhyphen song. Anyway, I really hope Hybe improves Enhyphen's production in the future. There could have been more crowd interaction too. Some users even said, Enhyphen were great. They were very stable and performed well, but I thought there was something lacking in the production department. Like the costumes and the stage were quite simple and it felt like just any other performance. I wish they had more budget and had done a whole vampire-themed performance. And another Engine said, as an Engine, I definitely think the stage presence, crowd interaction, and setup could have been better. This is just a conspiracy theory, but I think after Hybe saw the backlash from LE SSERAFIM's Coachella vocals last year, they made Enha focus fully on singing and dancing, which isn't wrong, but I did wish it was more interactive. That being said, the vocals were wow. I've seen so many Enhyphen performances, and this was their best live vocals ever. Genuinely so proud, and I can't imagine the training they went through to pull that off for 45 minutes with barely any breaks. Yeah, respect.
I was
And
like,
lastly,
she
Jennie.
looked tired the whole performance. I also personally understand how you trained for so long and you've danced and performed for so long, but you are having trouble performing your songs live. And I'm not being a hater, I'm just being observant. It has been an issue with Jennie for years.
There were tons of mixed reactions to her Coachella set. A lot of people were saying the usual stuff like her performance felt lazy, she looked tired, had stamina issues, and some were even worried about her health. Now let me just talk about my experience watching Jennie live at Coachella. I was tuned in for the full 45-minute set, and my attention span is usually not that loyal, but I stayed. That alone says something. Her performance wasn't bad, but I wouldn't call it groundbreaking either. It was kinda mediocre. Not in a shady way, I love Jennie. Her album Ruby is literally in my playlist. I'm a regular listener. So when I first heard songs like Zen, Filter, Start a War, and Soul City, I was like, how is she gonna pull this off live? With choreography and everything, but she did. She really did. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with her Coachella stage. But at the same time, I know I can't be completely unbiased. I do love Jennie. That said, I can agree with some of the criticism. Jennie started off strong, then the middle section got a little slow for me, but she saved her most energetic songs for the end, like Jennie Extra L, and I think that was actually a great decision. She killed the ending. Wrapping it up with Starlight was such a perfect way to close the set. Now yes, I'll admit there were backup tracks. She relied on them during certain parts, but there were also real shine moments. Overall, I think it was a solid set, and the crowd seemed to really enjoy it too. What some fans had to say. I was surprised to see her lip-syncing in some of the vocal-oriented songs because she performed them live on her solo tour and did really well. Her tour performance of Start a War was so good, so I was a bit disappointed to see her relying on the backing track at Coachella, especially since I know she can sing them. Maybe she was afraid of getting dragged and just played it safe. And I get it. The rap-heavy songs definitely felt more live and hype because she was clearly in her element and engaging with the crowd. She's a natural at hyping the crowd. I was so surprised to hear people being loud even for the less popular songs. Overall, it was a good performance, a little shaky at the start, but it never got boring. And personally, I had a great time watching her set. The people were vibing too. FTS is one of my faves, and she really showed her vocals there. I wasn't expecting anything super drastic from her Ruby Experience show, but I was happy she switched some things up, like the remixes and choreo. One thing I noticed though, she did seem like she was catching her breath at times, and I was surprised she didn't do more outfit changes this time, probably to maximize her singing time, which makes sense. Still, having an outfit switch or even just talking to the crowd more in between songs could have been a good way to reset. Though, to be fair, she did talk to the crowd more than any of the other acts, so props for that. Now XG isn't exactly K-pop act, but let's be real. They were one of the best at Coachella this year. XG seriously killed it. I'm so happy for them. All their performance videos looked amazing, and the EDM club mixes of their songs, absolute bangers. There were a few complaints floating around about their outfits and some moments of low energy, but honestly, if you only watch those short clips, yeah, it might look like they were lacking. But when you see the full performance, those moments were like, what, 5 seconds out of a full 3-minute song? They did really well. Yeah, I'll admit the outfits could have been better, especially in terms of quick changes. Those transitions were long. But one user who attended live said this: loved these girls, their outfits were so good and their songs hit hard live. Their stage design felt a little lacking to me, but I liked their screen transitions. Something I appreciated was that even though they weren't going 200% in energy all the time, they knew when to tone it down to focus on vocals. Some of the costume changes felt really long though, which kind of messed with the flow. And I agree. The outfit change timing wasn't ideal, but overall, the show was epic. Easily some of the best visuals at the Sahara stage all weekend. Now there were some comments about lip syncing. One person said, "That song and Something Ain't Right were completely lip synced." I've been listening to those two on repeat and not a single line sounded different. Same pitch, rhythm, everything. And yeah, maybe for those songs they were singing over loud backing tracks or it just looked that way. But trust me, there were plenty of moments where they weren't lip syncing and you could hear their vocals. Overall, they crushed it. So yeah, that's the good and the bad. And honestly, my only real disappointment, the Coachella crowd.
Okay, I'm a Coachella stan, but what the hell was going on with the crowds this year?
Dude, actually so disappointing. Like, there were certain sets where Lauren and I were literally the only people dancing in our section.
Like, Lady Gaga, people should have been getting down.
Dancing, vibing, singing, screaming, and everyone was just
Like,
silent.
like nodding their head, like, not even, like, in it. And I was like, you do realize we're witnessing, like, art at its highest level right now?
Yeah.
And
they didn't even appreciate it. Also, hot take, but this is our first time doing VIP. Ain't it? That VIP crowd is horrible. Horrible energy.
they did not pass the vibe check. I was like, does no one like music here? Because
Multiple fans pointed it out, and I agree. It kind of sucked the energy out at times. But hey, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and if you're into more K-pop content, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one.